Are you former military, current military, or a CrossFitter trying to get into jiu-jitsu? Well, first of all, I applaud you because it is the absolute best sport in the world, in my opinion, when it comes to like fitness and self-defense. Second, on the flip side, you guys are the absolute worst to roll with and start the sport with. And we're going to dive into it in this video. So here's my premise. Let me get this out here because again, I'm probably going to start some crap, but whatever. What I really want to get into is just a mindset when you guys, you former military or CrossFitters trying to get into jiu-jitsu and you're looking on YouTube like, should it be, should I not be? Well, this is the right place. Just to give you guys a little bit of background. I am a first degree black belt, started over in Fresno, California, with the AKA group, Josh Koscheck, moved into with Joel Salter, Thiago Alves, Brian Gonzalez, then moved here to Houston with Jeff Messina, Alex Cerconi, and the list goes on and on. I have been blessed to roll with some of the top tier guys in the world and been able to hang with them. So it is a fun thing to do. Just to give a little credit out of the way, just so I'm not some random dude on YouTube just spouting it out. But that being said, you guys, former military and CrossFitters, why are they such a poison? That's a strong word. Why is it so demeaning when I see them? And I don't even know if that's the right word. Please correct me to use a better word. But here's my premise. So when we'll start with military. Okay, now first of all, love the military, Navy, Marines, Air Force. You guys, I love you guys to death. I really do. I love the mentality. I love the grit. I love the grind. But that transitioning over into the civilian world is a little tough, and it coincides too with the CrossFitters. And here's where I'm coming from, just straight out. There is a ego that comes with the military, which I understand and I totally agree with, to be honest with you, because that way of life, to be honest, is it works. You have a rank, you have your duty, you have your orders, and you fulfill them respectfully and do diligently and with integrity. And if you do everything right, you will be honorably discharged, right? But a sense that comes with ego because we get to carry around these these M1s, running around tanks, heavy aircraft carriers, flying in MiG, helicopters, all sorts of things, and there's an ego to it. And one thing too, just to give a little background credit, not only do I have my pilot's license, YouTuber, and just all sort of business guy, real estate, blah blah blah. I've been in it, and when I first started jiu-jitsu, I had no ego because I didn't achieve all those things at once. I had to progress through them, but jiu-jitsu really helped me out. But as former military, as I said, there's an ego that comes into it. There's this badass ego. I did all this. I was, I went to Afghanistan. I was a Vietnam vet. I understand that. I get that. But there's some humility and some humbleness that needs to come with that. So why do I say that? Well, military, for instance, what we start with, when I have rolled, and listen, I've rolled with Navy SEALs, Air Force, you name it. I have rolled with everybody in between, transgender, male, female, kids, everything in the sun in between. And I find that the military, between the military and CrossFitters, military are actually a little easier because there is a little bit of humility into it. But my gosh, man, there is I will fight to survive, which I totally understand. I will do anything and everything if that means cheating, biting, whatever it is, slapping or hitting. I have been there. I have felt it. I have been slammed, and it is because the real reason is because the hand-to-hand comment when it comes to jiu-jitsu, you are powerless, absolute powerless when you come into a submission or a certain position where all feels lost and you have no other way to get out. And I think that's where a lot of military guys buckle under that pressure. And I've had a couple where the PTSD has kicked in and had a couple freakouts. And I think that's also important for you guys that do have that to be able to vocalize that. And we can get into the end of that in this segment about vocalizing who you're rolling with and also who you're who you're spending your time with at the gym. But one thing I do want to mention with you guys that are coming out of military or in military that want to get into jiu-jitsu, there is a ranking system, which is great transition, right? We've got our belt colors and kind of like our hierarchy of the gym. So that's a good. I believe that's why a lot of military guys do train jiu-jitsu. Like Jocko and a lot of other guys. Jeff Messina's former and current military. But what comes with that is humility and direction. And so if you're able to set your expectations with everybody, know what's going on and achieving them, that's fine. But when you're going there all brute force, not willing to learn, you're going to have a big problem. And the biggest thing too is that a lot of you guys are big wusses. And it surprises me. It really surprises me because when competition comes around, which I think fears everybody, but man, I have seen a lot of military guys crumble under the competition. It's very surprising, which I understand, but hand-to-hand combat is the most adrenaline rush. That's why, like, when you see the guys in UFC, that is the biggest drug of an adrenaline rush that these guys face, and that's why they love it so much. It's the biggest high you can get, and I get it. After doing so many tournaments myself, I did last year. At that point, I'm not nervous anymore because you realize that you're just going to be in a situation. You're going to try your best, and if you get out of it, you get out of it. And if you don't, you don't. But you're going to give it your all. There's no, again, ego or expectation. You're just doing what you've learned and you're going to apply it. Now let's get into the CrossFitters and why they are the absolute worst. Okay, so here's my premise on the CrossFitters here, okay? So with CrossFitters, they have this determination and grit, right? Just pushing through. They're always wanting to do more. They're always wanting to do more reps, do all the kipping pull-ups. All these competitions that they do, they're lifting weights. I get it. And again, what is the combination of the two that we have? Like I said, with the military and CrossFitters, there's an ego. And why that gets in the way? Because, well, I can do 300 kipping pull-ups with weights of 300 pounds, and I can do 400 squats with split squats and 600 burpees, and I don't care. I don't care. And the reason why I don't care is because strength has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. It helps. Don't get me wrong. It helps. But man, the spazziness and the way they move is very harming towards their partners. And that's why I always try to reiterate, and I think that's a little bit of this core of this conversation I'm having with you is definitely being vocal about where you're at, what you're wanting to do, and who you're rolling with. So if you're a new CrossFitter, if you're a CrossFitter or a, military guy, and this is like your first couple class, tell these guys, hey, I was doing CrossFit, I'm learning, this is really out of my realm, I don't know how to deal with that. And for you guys that are watching this that are on the opposite side, that's been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, and you got a CrossFitter, you need to tell them, hey, slow down, relax. You're going to be in some positions that you're not going to like. That's going to feel very uncomfortable for you. Embrace it, because surprisingly, those vulnerable situations are actually those situations that you can get out of and do a lot of sweeps, counters, or submissions from those bad positions. And that's where I'll just double down on communication and the willingness to leave that ego at the door. There are some people out there that just they're coming into jiu-jitsu to get a win and leave, and that is not the mentality. One last thing is, like, if you guys are starting this, this isn't something that you need to go do to tap out, a blue belt or a purple belt and be like, yep, I tapped them out. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. And what you're doing is you're putting a bad taste in the gym's mouth, the community's mouth, and on top of that, that's really a bad idea for you. Just because that you do one thing because you might have gotten lucky, or the guy's having a bad day, whatever. Doesn't mean that you're not accoladed for your strength and your abilities. It's more about, dude, I want to live a very nice life, not being injured. And man, these guys are just don't care. I hear people, so many people, I've got shoulder injuries, I've got elbow injuries, I've got wrist injuries, my legs, my knees. And there comes a point where, you know, this is a really heavy sport when it comes to, you know, combative sport, right? Like, we are putting our bodies to the absolute test. This is the only sport that you can go 100% and not get hurt. But why are we getting hurt is because when we go 100%, we're going 100%, because when we go for that submission, we're just 100%, 100%. You can go 100%, but when then that submission happens, you need to tone it down to like 20 or 10. And if it doesn't, you know, it doesn't work. I was rolling with a blue belt. I got him in an arm bar. He was a really tough, big dude. He's really heavy. I couldn't finish it, you know, and he was like, why'd you let it go? Well, it wasn't working, so I'm just going to go to the next one. I'm not going to, you know, blow out my wad just for something that I, you know, have to prove. I'd rather win the round or, you know, advance on some submissions or positions. And that's where, you know, the headspace comes in, of being aware of your surroundings and leaving the ego at the door. And again, this is not a knock. This is just more about an awareness. Maybe it is a little bit of a knock, but, you know, again, I love you guys because, you know, listen, I train every day. If it's CrossFit or whatever, you know, I do my routine of how it is, but it's just more of the mentality. It's more the mentality of the military and the CrossFits that you guys got to calm down, leave the ego at the door, learn, open your mind, stop being, you know, this is the way it's supposed to do. This is what I saw online. This is what this guy said. This is something that you need to create yourself. Here, and this is where I'll finalize this. I'll finalize this video with this, and this is where everybody can learn. When you're learning from somebody, anybody, that's what they know, and that's what they have created in their mind, and that's what works for them. And that needs to happen to you. And I think this is where a lot of jiu-jitsu people get lost and get held back, or think they're becoming stagnant or are stagnant, is because they're looking for their professor, or they're looking for their idol and how they're moving, and they want to do the same thing. But everybody's body type, position, and weight is different. So, you know, short, stubby guy that's 230 pounds, he ain't doing a triangle. There's just no way. You can do an arm triangle. So why not master that? And that's what I'm saying is, like, do things that work for you. And once you have that light bulb go on where it's like, hey, you know what? I hear what he's teaching me. I can rep it, but I really like X guard and sweeping and, getting darce from bottom position, which I have seen many times. Bo, you're terrible. But it's possible. It's possible. And that's where you need to find out what you're trying to achieve in your jiu-jitsu journey and who you want to be in your jiu-jitsu journey. Excuse me. That way you can become the person that you want to be. And that's what I always love. Just like the Iron Giant says, man, you are who you choose to be. And I choose that every day, that I am a multifaceted jiu-jitsu player that can get you from the top, the bottom, and I love the butterfly. The butterfly is just my realm. I love it, and that's where I will always stay. And so that just shows you guys pick your battles, leave the ego at the door, take a breath, learn from your mistakes. Don't go in there all guns a-blazing, and leave the military, leave the CrossFit, where it belongs, back where it is. We are here in a new situation, and that's going to help out not only the community but yourself as well. And again, yes, might be a knock, but at the same time, this is just more of an awareness, because you guys, I love the sport so much. It is one of my favorite things to do. I will never do. I will ride till I die, and that's where there's the community that never leaves. And that's the thing, like with CrossFit and military, there's you're only around for so long. Where jiu-jitsu, it is you guys don't understand what kind of drug that is. It is the absolute best thing in the world for you, for everybody. It really is. It really puts a more conservative value, not playing politics here, but in your life, just of what things are all about. And I think we can all agree on that, I hope. I love you guys. Keep training hard. Don't stop. And like, again, if you guys are going to your first gym, communicate. And do your diligence of who you are when you roll. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.